Have you discovered Procreate's reference feature yet? It allows you to put a reference image in a separate window right within the canvas. You can move the window anywhere on the screen, and you can scale and move the image inside the window as well. So this is perfect for calligraphy and lettering. It means you can refer to an example and work on a composition at the same time. There's no need to print it out or have it loaded on a different device or start fiddling around with turning layers on and off. It can often be tricky to tell where a stroke starts and ends in calligraphy. It's not always where you expect. Some strokes start midway through a flourish and are completed after drawing the rest of the letter. Other strokes overlap and create the illusion as if they were drawn with one single continuous motion. In this flourished worksheet for Procreate, I break down the different strokes so you can see the exact start and end points, as well as these directional arrows which show you which way to go. So in a minute, we're going to see how useful the reference feature combines with an example like this. So the first step is to get familiar with the letters and how the strokes are made. So I recommend tracing with a monoline pencil at this stage to get a feel for how the strokes are made before we introduce the thick and thin pressure changes. So these numbered dots show you where to start each stroke. The capital D here is a perfect example of how letters can look as if they're made with one stroke, but they're actually several strokes overlapping. So we're going to start at number 1 and follow this stroke down, and we'll stop when we finish the loop. Then we pick our pencil up and go to stroke number 2. So follow the arrows around, and this meets at our first stroke. And now we find stroke number 3, and you can see it's midway through the top flourish. So we need to pick up where we left off and finish that stroke. Next, we go to stroke number 4 and 5 and so on. So this first step guides you through each and every stroke. And now we're ready for step number 2. The next step you do after learning the strokes is where to apply pressure. So now we're going to change brushes to the copper plate brush. As you can see, those directional arrows aren't here anymore because our focus is now on the pressure strokes. So this is where we can really benefit from that reference feature we looked at earlier. So to access it, you just go to the wrench icon and then the canvas menu, and you'll see reference. So I'm going to open up the reference window here. One thing to note, you have to have the image on your iPad's local Photos app. So for instance, if you're downloading it from online, you just need to tap your share icon and choose Save Image. So not Save to Files, but Save Image. So that now puts it on my Photos app, so we're all good to go. So now back in Procreate, I can choose Import Image, and I find the file that I just saved. This shows me those directional arrows now in the reference window, so I can zoom right in without affecting the canvas and see exactly how that stroke is made. I can see where the first stroke starts. I can follow along and trace the example underneath. So it's really easy to zoom and pan around that reference version to see where the next stroke starts. So once you've completed that step, the next step is to put it all together and try yourself without the traceable version. So this time I'm going to import the finished quote into my reference window. So now that we know the different strokes and the directions for the letter and we're okay with the pressure, the next step is to put it all together and try yourself without the traceable version underneath. And now I can zoom right in on the first word here and get that nice and large so I can see it as I write my quote. So this 3-step process really builds on your confidence and knowledge as you go through. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial today. There's a link to the worksheet I've been using in the comments below. Thanks, and see you next time.